It's a little bit early to tell this year, but clearly what I'm focused on and we are focused on is, firstly, can we improve service? Secondly, we want to deliver value, and for the first time in a while, our energy prices are now really quite significantly in the middle of the pack, and we're offering good value to our customers. In fact, our standard tariff is cheaper than 95% of them out there. We're focusing on rewarding our employees, both for their loyalty and with new innovations and offers. And the final thing we're doing is investing in technology. And when you put all this together, I think the relationship that British Gas is now projecting to our customers is quite different, and we expect them to respond well.
You've just announced a price freeze when a lot of your competitors have been raising prices. Why have you been able to do that? Are you sacrificing margin in order to do that?
Actually, the main reason we've been able to freeze our prices is that we've been paying close attention to our own costs. And we've just announced that last year, not just in British Gas, but as the company as a whole, we cut our own costs in an efficiency programme by £384 million just in last year, and we've announced another £250 million this year. What this has allowed us to do after the 3 price reductions we made at the end of 2015, early 16, is keep prices frozen all the way through the rest of 16. We announced through the winter to April, and now we've been able to say we're going to keep them frozen until August. This gives our customers some certainty, both through the winter and able to plan for the next few months. Clearly, we can't say what's going to happen after August. It does depend on how energy prices move and how circumstances change. But I believe we're now offering value, we're focusing on service, and we're focusing on new offers and rewarding our customers' loyalty.
Do you think there's still a perception in the market that British Gas is more expensive than some of its rivals, even though, as you say, that isn't necessarily the case anymore?
Well, I'm sure there's a perception of that, but it's interesting, one of our most vocal rivals, one of the new supply companies, keeps saying that the standard tariff of the formerly known as the Big Six is very expensive. I had a look, and actually their standard tariff is higher than ours. So I think it's dawning on people that if you take the standard tariffs, which are today in a range of £900 to £1,200 roughly, we're at just £1,044. And if you take the fixed tariff market, most people are in the £930 to something like £1,050, and we are just over £1,000. So we're now very competitive, and I think this is going to be good for our customers.
What are your expectations in terms of how the wholesale price will move this year?
It's improved a bit with some OPEC discipline, improved in terms of prices coming up a bit. There's now a tension between OPEC discipline on production and the impact of technology unlocking new oil and gas. That really is going to drive wholesale electricity prices as well. I don't know yet. I think the current prices are a pretty good indicator of the forward expectations in the near term, but we will just have to wait and see.
So customers really ought to brace themselves for potentially higher prices later in the year?
Well, actually, the things that are inflating in the bill are things like government policy costs, which have doubled over the last 7 years, and transportation and transmission costs, which have gone up by about 50%. I just want to be clear, I'm not blaming the government for this or blaming National Grid for this. The energy system is changing. We're going to have to pay for that somehow. Climate change and the energy mix has to be addressed, and we have to pay for that somehow. So these are realities in the bill. What's interesting, though, is energy bills, our energy bills, have not gone up by more than about 1% per annum over the last 8 years. That's a lot less than inflation. So I'm hopeful that we can keep containing the growth in energy bills, but that depends on a lot of variables.
Now, we've got a government green paper coming up. Are you concerned that we're going to have caps imposed on standard tariffs?
The government green paper, I understand, is about consumer markets and how should consumer markets serve customers and are they working. I'm making a presumption that energy will be part of that. We don't know yet. What I've been saying to the government is I really don't think further intervention is necessary. We have 50 suppliers of energy in the UK. It's highly competitive. Everyone is competing to acquire and retain customers. And actually, the history has been littered with interventions that have gone wrong, unintended consequences. And where possible, governments, in my opinion, should leave the market to work. I actually think they believe that too. They want to know, is it working? And I believe what we're doing in British Gas is doing the right thing by our customers, and you're seeing it come through in the competitive dynamic. We may even be starting to change that competitive dynamic. I think that's a demonstration that this is a highly competitive market.